right? So if I wake up, gold sells, look hella on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna go back real quick because I do want to see what gold is doing. Yeah, we just made another lower low. All right. Yeah, gold sell. If we could break this level right here, making a lower low, it might be a good time to sell. It might be a good time to trade. All right. So yeah, let's just go over this on a replay trade, right? So look what's happening, right? If I wake up at this time, did you enter that? Earlier, yeah, we caught that sell. What's that? What time is that? No, was that, what day was that? The 3rd? No, I didn't catch that trade yet. That was right now? I'm confused. That was right now? How many pips was that? That's still not today. 79 points. Now I wouldn't enter that trade because I'll be targeting again. I'm going to target down this level here at this higher high. Alright, I need price to break this level. Once price gets underneath this level, and then I know I'm bearish for sure. Alright, and as you can see, we are breaking this level now. Alright, and then I would like to see price get underneath this level. So I have 2 levels. I want price to make this into support and resistance. Alright, and then I want that break, touch, and go lower. So I have a nice stop loss and I have a nice take profit. Right? That is kind of what I'm aiming for, like this. This would give me a good trade, 100% wonderful trade, because I'm gonna get almost 5R, right? And I have a good stop loss. So that is what I'm looking for. So again, let's go over ICC and what it means and how to do a top-down analysis. And I'm not reading no more fucking comments so I don't get distracted. Okay, right? So I'm going into the 4-hour time frame. Right? So what is the 4 hours showing me? Don't laugh at me, bro. It's the truth. I swear to God, I'll read a comment and fucking forget everything I just said. Focus. Nah, for real, bro. ADHD out the ass. Okay, so ready? If I'm waking up today and we get a higher high and price is retracing to this level here, I know that this was my indication. Why is this my indication? Because what? Price makes a higher high, right? If price is in a uptrend, it has to make a higher high for the indication to be valid, right? Has to, right? Again, in the downtrend, no, I'm not in a trade. Not yet, at least. Right? So, as you guys can see, a higher high has to be made in order for a indication to be valid. Right? What is happening right now? A higher high happened. Right? So now this is my indication that we are going higher. So what is my correction? My correction is pulling back to the support level or to the higher high, right? Whatever one makes sense to you, they are both literally the same fucking thing, right? So this is my correction. Right? All right, so a correction in the market is a pullback to the previous high, which is this high right here, or a support level, which again, they are literally the same thing. Why? Because this will turn in, so resistance will turn into support, right? The continuation, right? So as you can see in the 4 hour, we bounced off this level pretty strong, right? This level, this is the bottom of support, right? Price makes a higher support level right here on the 4 hour time frame, right? So we have a higher level of support, so that's giving me a second clue that price is going higher. Again, I will draw up my fib level from the bottom of this candle to the top of the wick, and as you can see, 705 is where the bottom of these candles are holding. So now that's my second clue that price is going higher, right? I know that this is OTE, which is this level here, so I don't need to mark it because we already know that this high and this higher support level is already OTE. This is replay. Yes, I'm trying to show you guys what I'm looking for, like coming in the pre-market, right? So now I'm scaling down into the 15-minute time frame. All right, so what do we have here? We have London low, and we have Asia high. And we have Asia low right here. Right, so now I can see we have pools of liquidity. Right, this Asia low has not been really grabbed yet, but it doesn't really matter because this did tap down into the wick, right? So it can unstable tether 100K for sure. Sheesh, I can't do crypto. All right, so again, now I am honestly looking, and as you can see, right? Hold on, let's zoom out a little bit. All right, so now as you can see, the lower time frame, we have our higher high. Price came down off of this support level, right? And we come up to make another higher high, right? So now this is my pullback, which is my correction into the market, right? The correction is coming back down to a support level. Again, this could be our resistance for now, right? Why is it resistance? Price couldn't go above it, right? So now I'm scaling down into a lower time frame, and we start to get buying power, right? We're getting higher highs, right? So what I want to do is wait for another retest of this level. Once we get a retest of this level, I like to enter my trade, right? I will go back down into the 5-minute time frame, and I'm just waiting, right? And as you can see, we get the retest here, right? But we're not getting bullish yet. Should I mark support the full wick or have the candle close? Anyone know? It's not necessarily a perfect level, right? And as you guys can see, like, look at my support level, right? It's not perfect, right? We have some wicks hanging out, right? I mean, like, look at our resistance, right? On a higher time frame, it looks a little bit more clean, right? But it's not never, like, we just want where the most touches have occurred. You see how this came out, this high came out? It doesn't really matter because majority of the touches are here. You know what I mean? So that's kind of why I do my resistance this way. How do you know what time frame candles to analyze? Again, get into my Discord so I could explain it to you. Warren, I appreciate the gifts, bro, for real. But it has to do with market structure. That is the way that the market is going to go off of a high time frame. So that is what the candlesticks that you analyze is the most recent candles of a higher time frame, right? Again, all we're looking at is every single time price has gone higher, it makes a higher high, right? So HH means higher high. So is this high higher than this high? Yes. Is this high higher than this high? Yes. Is this high higher than this high? Yes. So we're getting higher highs, right? So what is price pulling back to? Every single time price makes a higher high, where does it pull back, right? Higher high, price makes a higher high. Where does it pull back to? The last previous high. Price makes a higher high. Where does it pull back to? The last higher high. Price makes a higher high. Where does it pull back to? This time, price didn't, only because the bulls were too aggressive. Right? If I scale down to a lower time frame, you will see that it does pull back, right? But it pulls back to a 15-minute or a 30-minute right here, right? To a 30-minute or a 15-minute support level. Why is this support? Price couldn't go above it, rejects, goes higher, turns it into support and goes higher, right? So this is the level that I'm going to target, or this level. So if price would have came down to this level, and then I just wait for price to get back above this level, retest it, and that's where we take our entry right here, and then we go higher, right? So if you want price to bounce off of this level, but it doesn't, and it goes to this level, just wait for price to get back above this level, retest it, and then you take your entry. Like I'm about to show you right now. Right, so look, remember, I wanted price to what? To retest this level in order for me to take a buy. But what is happening, right? This candle retraced and touched this FVG and then a hurry up and reject it. So that means that there's something in the market that is pushing price lower, and we're not going to get in right now, right? So I'm going to wait for price to flip on us. And as you can see, if it would entered here, right, again, your stop loss is going to be at these low here. But we don't know where it's going to go. It could take this low and then reverse on us. So we have to wait for price to get back above this level for us to take a buy. So now you start to see that we're getting bullish, right? So now right there, I'm taking my entry. I'm putting my stop loss at these lows, right? I'm going to go to a higher time frame, and I'm targeting Asia highs. Or again, I like to do, if there's no data, I like to target around 300 to 500 pips, depending on where we're at in the market, right? And then if that isn't the case, I will target a 3 to 4 RR. So right now, right, I'm going to target a 3R, or a 4R, sorry. We'll just do a 3.8 because it doesn't even matter, right? But Tesla, please, I'll get there in a second for you. All right, so as you guys can see, we get that buying pressure above this level. Again, if we get stopped out, guess what you do? You just hop right the fuck back in. Because we know price is going higher. It showed us already on the 4-hour time frame, right? It literally showed us that price is going higher on the 4-hour, right? So let me take this off so you guys can see, because I can't see. Let me just change the colors. Right here, target our 4R, 3.6R. Alright, so what is price doing? We had the higher highs. We had a retrace to what? To London low, right? And then price got above this level, right? Once price right here came up, came down, and retested this level again, I'm getting in. Right? Does that make sense to anybody? Did that help anybody? Did that help the question that you're asking? Alright, what does price do? Price takes Asia high. We get some resistance. And then we literally just get 2 TP. We probably retrace to Asia high, bounce off Asia high, and then go higher. But that is the continuation in the trend. How much do I need to start? I like to tell people to start with a funded account, which you could buy a funded account right now from Blue Guardian Futures for 50 bucks. And then if you pass the account, there's no activation fee. Or you use My Funded Futures and you spend like 60 bucks and you get a My Funded Futures account for 60 bucks. And when you pass the account, you don't have to pay for an activation fee. Right? I recommend, if once you start to become a better trader, that you will do Top Step and all these other firms that have activation fees, but they're a little bit more expensive. Blue Guardian Futures, not Forex. I don't like their Forex account. I like their futures account. Blue Guardian Futures is $50 with the discount code. Buy one get one 50. So BOGO 50, and you get a free account once you get a payout. Which again, it's most people. It's going to be hard to get a payout, but no matter what, at least you get a free 50K account for $50, and you don't have to pay an activation fee. And then there's still Match. Is it Match? If you go to blueguardianfutures.com, purchase account. If you do, look, see, it's $100 a month for a 50K account, but the promo code is going to take it down to $50. Right, I think Match is also another promo code for 50% off. Yeah, so if you use Match, first of all, use BOGO 50 first, so you get a free account if you get a payout, right? And then you could use Match as the promo code to get half off, right? So the 100K accounts and the 150K accounts are super fucking cheap. Make sure you use the standard account, because the Guardian account you have to pay for a because the Guardian account is $39, but you have to pay a $150 activation fee, right? So again, just use the standard eval, use the code BOGO50, and you get it half off. These guys need to fucking pay me. I give these guys so much. Like, my Fund of Futures, you guys bought like 100 accounts once I recommended it. Like, I didn't get paid shit from them guys. Oh, we're getting action on gold? I didn't even look. But again, do you guys... Okay, indication leg is the breakout. Correction leg is the retest. And then exactly, bro. And price does a deeper correction leg. We wait for price to do ICC all over again. Basically, yes. We wait for price to get back. So my Fund of Futures, there's a promo code right now on my Fund of Futures. It's like $60. I think it's code match. I think it is. Oh yeah, I got that too. I'm surprised they gave it to me. But I think people who spent money with my Fund of Futures are the ones who got it. They gave away a lot of accounts. I think like fucking 5 of us got it in our Discord. Like, which is crazy. I was like, fuck it, $1 for a 50K account. I just took a $1,000 trade today. I'm literally about to pass it probably tomorrow. Oh, let me find it for you. No, that's a fact. We all want to. Alpha Futures is my favorite, to be honest. Matter of fact, let me not say my favorite. Alpha Futures Advanced Plan. Who the fuck is calling me? Hey, I'm live right now. Let me call you back. Alright, gang. Alpha Futures is great. I'm funded through Alpha, Apex, My Fund of Futures, Blue Funded, Top Step, right? I'm fucking funded through all the top ones. But Alpha Futures, you have to get their advanced account because there's no consistency rule in the funded stage. So if you make a $2,000 trade, you could do $100 for the next 4 days and request a fucking payout, right? If you do $1,000 trade with the consistency rule, that means you have to do... If you have a 50% consistency rule, that means you have to do another $1,000 before you can request a payout. So I passed 6 fundeds in 1 week. Like, I was cracking, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you guys know that shit already. But yeah, I recommend I recommend no evaluate or consistency rule in the funded state or in the eval, and no consistency rule in the in the funded. You don't want a consistency rule in funded. What is gold doing? Y'all like going crazy right now. What the fuck? Oh look though, it bounced right off the level. Where the fuck is my drawings at? Oh, I deleted them all? But look, it bounced right off our level. Why didn't, hold on, let me show you why. Oh fuck, I wish I wasn't live. That's been an easy trade, guys. Look, where's our level at? What did I just, hold on, I gotta find it. I know I just marked this shit, bro. Gold futures, minis. Nah, bro, it's crazy. But look, where's my resistance at and where's my support? Right? We have it right here, right? We had resistance. Price couldn't break above this. Price made it into support, right? Where's our minor levels at, right? We have a minor level of right here, right? So what did we do? We already have a higher high. So where's our pullback? This is my pullback. So if price would have stayed underneath of this, and then we take our sells, right? But what did price do? Price said, no, fuck that. It got back on top. So what? Where do you take your buys? Above this right here. All right? Price came above it. Right, matter of fact, let me just redo it better. All right, we came up, we came down, we came up, we came down. That right there is your entry. Where we put our stop loss? Right at the low. Super clean. Remember, there are minor levels that we have to start to look at, right? That's a 5-minute look. That's probably even a 15-minute support level, right? Look. I wish I literally just drew this out, bro. I literally just drew this level out. I wish it didn't delete it, right? What did price do? Price got underneath this level. Once it didn't stay underneath this level, we go to a lower time frame, right? Once we got above this, candle closed, take an entry, right? Look at the volume. Look at this volume increase, guys. Look at all this volume. That is your second indicator. We have all this low volume, and then you start to get this big ass candle spikes, right here. Boom, candle spike. We're getting in. Right, again, we don't trade Asia session that often, especially around 8:30, but the entry was there. You know what I mean? It's not like it wasn't there. It's just that we don't trade it this often. But don't get me wrong. Did it make a higher high? Go to a 4-hour time frame, right? It gave us the indication. We got the correction. We got continuation. So it's gonna play out again in a lower time frame. So what are we marking? We're gonna continue to keep our levels where they are, and we're gonna wait for a pullback. Right? Maybe use this level this time. Right? Keep it right here. So now I'm waiting for price to give me a pullback to this level. Once this level holds, and then I'll get into this trade. Yeah, what's the volume indicator? Just volume. It's just volume, literally. Just volume right here. Yeah, it's big. That helps you big time, bro. I fucking love it. Again, there's a volume divergence, right? In a uptrend, if price is increasing, volume will increase. So if price is going up, volume will go up. And then it's the opposite in a downtrend, right? And I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to get off. All right? Watch. Look. Price is going sideways, right? Look at the volume. Look how small the volume is. Look, price goes down. Let me go to a lower time frame so you get to see it better. All right? Look. Look. Price is going up. We have little to no volume. Look. Right? We have little to no volume. Right? Price is going down. Look at all this volume. Look at all this volume. Price is going down. Look at all this volume. Look how insane this volume is. Right? Price goes up. Look how the volume dies down. Right? So in a uptrend, volume will increase with price. In a downtrend, volume is going to decrease, or volume will increase when price is going down. So it's a volume divergence. Right? Does volume increase before the move or simultaneously? So you will see the candle spikes. You will start to see the spikes before the move happens. So watch. Look at this. Look at price goes down. All right, now look at price. from right here, we have this candle, we start to go down, right? This candle right here, we start to get some more volume. This candle here, look at this volume spike. So I'm going to go down to a lower time frame. All right, look what we're getting. Look how low this volume is. Now look at, hold on. Let me lock it. That's not doing it. But you guys see what I'm saying though? Price is going down. We're getting volume going down, right? We get that spike up. This candle spikes up. Volume levels out, and then we get that spike off of this candle right here. Candle goes up, catch it literally off of the break of this. So you could have called it off the break of this. So now we're getting the retest to this level. So now again, I don't believe price is going to just bounce off of this to go higher. It's not going to happen. This is what I believe will happen. Price is going to do this, maybe grab a little bit of liquidity, and then it's going to work its way back up, and it's going to start making higher highs. It's going to get into order flow. All right, so don't expect this trade to run you to profits. It is literally going to work its way back into a parabolic curve, and we're going to get higher highs, right? Unless this is just a liquidity grab and a manipulated move, right? We have accumulation and manipulation. So again, that's just, we don't give a fuck what happens, bro. We don't care what happens. If price respects, wow, if price respects this line, right, we're just going to wait for price to become bullish and we take the buys. If price doesn't respect this line, and then we're going to wait for price to get underneath this level and take the sells. We don't give a fuck what happens. We are following market structure, right? That's it. That is it. I don't give a fuck which way price goes. I'm getting in it either way. I have a plan for either way price is going to go. Alright, so I'll scale down into the 1 minute time frame. I'm gonna go check the last recent high, maybe start to actually put my my resistance at the right area. What I like to do is do like the top of the wick. Right? To around the bodies. Around the average body. So if this is the high, this is the high, this is the average body right here. So that is where I would do it from. All right, let's find out where the fib level is located. All right, 618. Our OTE is lined up with this resistance zone. So again, we have two confirmations that price should have some type of. Do you find you get stop loss hunt wicks like that before a drop? It depends what session. If you notice, London will take out its open low in an uptrend. Watch. This is London open low. What does London do? Takes its low and then it goes higher. All right, London low opens right here. Price comes up, takes itself at 8 o'clock New York pre-market, which is the end of London session, and then it goes higher, right? Coming above support level, right? Retraces into support, we take our entry, and then what does price do? Price comes up, stops right back at resistance, goes higher, stops right back at the high, retest it and goes higher, right? So it just depends on what session, right? Asia session is honestly very tricky. Like, it really is a tricky session to trade because it's a lot of uncertainty, right? Some days Asia session moves sideways, Some days we get nice movement, some days we don't, some days we get exactly what just happened, which is a power move to the top, and then we get a retrace, and then Asia will run again at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? So we just got to be careful. Again, once your levels hold, and then that's what's going to happen. Price does not like to hold a level and then say, nah, I don't want to go any lower, right? This is just a lot of volume. So we just got to be careful because, again, as you can see, for the last 2 sessions, we had London run, right? So I don't know if this is volume being put back into the market or people putting positions into the market, right? So we just have to be careful. We did make a higher high, right? So I do want to see price retest this level, right? Look, OTE, we bounce off it and go higher, right? So that is another way that we could have gotten to this trade. It literally touches 618 fucking perfectly. We put it at the bottom of the support level. Price comes up, we make the high, we put it here, it retraces. What? Look at this. Look at this resistance. We turn it right into support, volume kicks in at 8 o'clock on the dot, and we fucking rip to the moon. We have this long ass rejection though, but it's almost looking like, yeah. So I want to see price, what, retrace to, oh, I did it backwards. This is called candle range theory, which I haven't taught you guys yet. But we still, it's basically the fib, but you're only using it for one candle, right? Or the move, the push up, right? Because this is a 15-minute candle, right? So we want to see this candle close more than 50% of this opening candle, which would give us, it should give us more momentum. So if you want to know if price is going to continue that direction, this candle here is going to have to close more than 50% above this candle, right? So we want this candle to close around, you know, this 40% zone. Again, because this is what, 60%. So yeah, what time you draw your fib on? What, for this retracement? Look at the support. Look at the support level. Every time frame, it's the same level. Look, 30-minute. There's not one on 1 hour, so let me not say that. 5-minute, 15-minute. It's both the same support, right? Okay, yeah. So we're doing it from this level here, doing it from the high, price touches OTE, and we take it higher. Where's OTE lined up at? At this resistance. Turned it into support, and it pushed us higher. Warren, I appreciate all of the GGs, bro. I appreciate you. And the rose. But so again, I don't want to see price do a rejection off of a 786. So I am just going to look for two things to happen. I want to see price continue higher. Eyes, yes, exactly. 100%. 100%. Not in a sense, that is 100%. OTE lines up with our level. It's game changer, bro. It's game changer. Everybody in here would tell you that. That 90, I guarantee, I wish we start to like really clock our trades because it really makes a difference when OTE lines up. Yeah, my boy, you know, yeah, he's dedicated. I fuck with it. All right, we have an FVG right here. So if price stays underneath this FVG, and then we might just, this could just been people taking profit, right? So we gotta see what this FVG does. We did kind of invert this FVG, but we got a pullback, right? So I want to see what this fair value gap holds and see what happens. If we could get above this FVG, invert it, it might be a decent long, but I need to see what we do at this level, right? Because if fair value gaps, what are a form of resistance, right? Once you get above resistance, it will always turn into support. That is what we want. That is the way our strategy works. But yeah, I'm hanging this shit up, y'all. I'm out of here. We'll be live again tomorrow. We do have more fair value gaps on the way up. But yeah, we have two inversions, which is causing resistance. So let's, again, if price starts to make lower highs, right, we get underneath our levels, I'm taking a sell, right? But if price just continues to respect these PD rays, and then there's nowhere for us to take buys. I'm just going to be honest. There's nowhere to take buys. There's no price target. So I'm not even looking for buys in this aspect. I would rather price sell off to its support level. That is what I want to see. Because remember, just because we just had this takeoff on this 1 hour and 4 hour time frame does not mean that we're not going to get a retrace, right? It does not mean that whatsoever. That could have been engineered liquidity that Asia is trying to manipulate the market, meaning that they will put 40,000 orders into the market, so people that are trading Asia session will start to buy in, and then they will just dump all of their 40,000 orders, creating a dramatic price fall, and then they will smack all of their limit orders and driving price lower. So what do? If you guys know anything about Asia session, they drive you higher, dump you, push you lower, so they lock in a better price, and then London and New York will carry the price higher, right? This is just manipulation that Asia plays, and that is why Asia session is a hard session to trade, right? So just remember that there are manipulated moves in trading, so do not be a part of the manipulation because you see a breakout. Yeah, exactly. As you can see, look, New York session runs, Asia session did what? It hauled ass, London fell down, creating a support level that it just came back down to, and then what happened? New York session made the higher high, right? So just remember, look, New York makes the high, Asia session falls down to our support levels, turning them into resistance, turning them into support, and then London opens up and pushes New York higher with London, right? So just remember that there has to be some type of manipulation. There has to be some form of engineered liquidity in order for this shit to happen. Right? They just can't pull orders out of thin air. There has to be orders, there has to be stop losses hit. There has to be people that are being losers. Alright? So they are the ones that FOMO. Guess how many fucking people looked at this trade and was like, oh my god, I'm getting in too. Right? Matter of fact, we could see right now. Volume footprint. And then I'm getting the fuck off. Oh my god, you see what you guys do to me? Look at all these orders. Look at all these buyers. Look. 500, 400, 800. I mean 480, 300, right? Look 170, 170 orders at the very top. 243 at the very top. I didn't trade off from the futures. Right? Crazy. Most of your trades come from before New York lunch or after New York lunch setup. Majority of my trades are New York open, right? Pre-market open. Majority of my trades start around 6 o'clock in the morning to around 8 o'clock in the morning. Alright, that is where majority of my trades come in from. London, and the London is going to push us, especially in a trend. It is going to allow me to hold that trade all of New York. Alright, pre-market is honestly the most volume and the best direction of the trend. So all of my trades are always pre-market for every session. Yes. Again, if you go in my Discord, everybody would tell you that we fucking trade all night. Literally 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm looking on the charts all fucking night. I'm there sighing. Keep sighing. Okay, I gotta get off though. Gotta get off. Somebody's mad at me. I told her I'd get off at 7:45 and it is 8:45. He's over here. But yeah, I'm out of here. Bye, bro. Leave. I know. Walaikum salam. I will see you guys. I will be looking on the charts around midnight, right? 1 o'clock. We'll be looking to get in the trade at around that time, and then again I'll be looking on the charts again around 4 a.m. 5 a.m. to see where price is at. See if we get into a trade. All right, but get the fuck out my live. I don't want to talk no more. Adios.
Love y'all. Love my supporters.
Okay, it wasn't bad. Only an hour past what I recommended. Yeah, it could have been like another 3.
Yeah.
You know, I like to hear myself talk. Oh, I'm not going live again.